Hello, mathematicians. It's great to have you here. Today we're going to talk about the Pythagorean theorem and using it to solve for a leg. Now, whenever I think about the Pythagorean theorem, for some reason I always think about pythons. So I bring a couple things with me when I'm going to work on the Pythagorean theorem. I wear my Python print jacket so you can visualize what I'm wearing as I do this video. And I bring my awesome Python Pete. Pete, go ahead and say hello.
Hello, Math Mama. I'm so excited to be here today.
All right, Pete, let's get going on our first example. Here we go. If we have a right triangle with the legs of 8 centimeters, an unknown, and 17 centimeters, we're going to solve for A. In order to do that, we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem. Pete, do you remember what the Pythagorean theorem is?
A squared plus B squared. And my favorite, C squared.
Oh, Pete, I love how well you listen when we're doing our math. Here we go. Now we're going to fill in what we know. We don't know A, so we're going to leave it as A squared. And then we're going to fill in 8. This is going to be our B squared equals our hypotenuse 17 squared. So now we're just going to solve away. We have 8 squared, or A squared plus 8 squared is, Pete?
64.
64 equals, Pete, do you know 17 squared? That one's a little harder.
No.
Let's just turn over to our trusty calculator. 17 times 17 gives us 289.
Super.
That is super. Now we are trying to solve the equation to get A all by itself. So we're going to start by subtracting the 64. Get that away since that's an easy step. We end up with A squared equals 289 minus 64. That's going to give us 225. Okay, and now our last step, do you know what we do, Pete, to undo a squaring of our variable?
My favorite, square root.
You are correct, which gives us A equals, what's the square root of 225? Do you know?
15.
15 is correct. So A is going to equal 15 centimeters. And that's our solution for our side of our triangle. Isn't it fabulous? Let's try one more.
Super.
Let's see what kind of problem we have here. Ooh, this time they don't give us the triangle, but they just give us the legs lengths. So sometimes it's helpful for us to just sketch a little triangle to fill it in so we remember what it would look like. We might have our 10 here, and our B could be there, and then our hypotenuse is 15 is what it's telling us.
So is the C always the long one?
The C is always the hypotenuse. It's the one that's opposite your right angle. That's how you know it's C. All right, here we go. Let's use that Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared equals, Pete?
C squared.
Gotta let you do your favorite. All right, so now we fill in 10 squared plus B squared equals 15 squared. We go ahead and we do 10 squared, which is 100, plus B squared equals, ooh, we just were dealing with 15. What's 15 squared, Pete?
225.
Beautiful. Now we're going to solve our equation. We're going to subtract 100.
Subtract.
You do like subtraction, don't you, Pete? And we get B squared equals 125. And now we're going to take the
square root.
we do take that square root, and we need to know the square root of 125. Now this one's a little trickier. Why is this one trickier, Pete? Do you know?
It's not perfect.
You're right, it is not a perfect square. So when we punch it into our calculator, we're going to get a decimal answer. But that's okay. We're going to just go ahead and round to the nearest tenth. So it looks like we have 11 and 1800ths, which if we round to the nearest tenth is going to give us 11 and 2/10. So B is not exactly, but approximately 11 and 2/10. And there's our solution to our equation. What do you think, Pete?
Super.
I think it's super as well. That was great work today.
Bye, Math Mama. All right, let's see what this